Hi everybody, this is my 45-minute slow flow class. I am Nancy Haynes. For this class, you just need to be wearing some clothing that's comfortable for yoga and a mat. Yoga mat is the best. Other mats will work, but yoga mats are the least slippy. You stick to those mats a little bit better, so those work out the best. If you have a yoga strap or a block, those can be useful, but they are not necessary. So let's see here. So I would like this class to bring about a couple of things for you. So these are things to focus on. Because it's slow flow, I want you to be able to focus a little more on what you're doing. Really try to focus your mind on what's happening right here and now with your body and your mind and your state of being. So we're constantly bringing our awareness back to our body, back to our breath, back to what's happening in our mind. So we're aware of our thoughts, but we're not attached to them. Slow flow also means that even though we're moving from pose to pose, we have a little more awareness and time and attention on the technique and the alignment. So please focus on that as well. And then the third thing is the breath. Really want you to keep your breath nice and steady and even throughout the class. So here we go. Let's start on hands and knees. So you bring your hands right under your shoulders and your knees right under your hips, and you'll spread those fingers out. And the first thing you'll do is just bring your awareness to how that mat feels underneath you, how the floor feels underneath you. I've got this rug here. A lot of us will be doing this in some interesting spaces. So I've got this kind of rag rug underneath me, which I like a lot actually, but it's interesting. It has an interesting texture when I'm on it, on my mat, and I just noticed that. Press the pads of the fingers down, the top of the palm down, the base of the thumbs down. Once you know what I'm doing, you can keep your neck kind of long. So sometimes it's hard because you want to look at me, of course. I'll try to just talk you through things. If you do need to look at me, just be aware of not hurting your neck by just cranking your neck up, okay? Soft elbows, but long arms. We're going to exhale, round the back, drop the head and the tail, and then inhale, lift the head and the tail and lengthen through the front of the body. Try not to scrunch the back of the neck, but do open up the front of the neck, front of the throat. And just going back and forth as you breathe. So the tempo, the pace is really up to you, but do think about how it works with your breath. Just listen to the sound of the music, listen to the sound of your breath. Bring your awareness and your attention to what's happening with you right here and now. Keep the spine long, the neck long, even as you go from one extreme to the other. So even this is kind of a nice little baby flow. Pretty simple, but you flow from pose to pose. Feel like you're pressing down into the mat and the mat is pressing back into you. Then we bring it back to neutral. So that's right in between those two poses, right? So we're going to take one knee off and circle right in the hip socket. So I'm feeling like I'm drawing a circle right towards you, actually. But you might be drawing a circle like on the wall beside you. That's what it's going to feel like, or on the window beside you, or the couch beside you, right? Press the floor away so you don't sag into your joints. You push out of them. Place that knee back down and switch sides. Still aware of your breath. Still aware of your thoughts. Still aware of where your attention is. Circling. And place that knee back down. So just so you know, your child's pose is this, knees wide, feet together. You sink back as long as that feels comfortable on your knees. You can put your head all the way down or on your forearms or hands. I like to try and relax the shoulders. So some people like to really reach the arms, that's fine. Or you can bend the elbows a little and relax the shoulders a little more. Relax everything you can in this pose and know that this is a really good resting pose if you need to take a break. This is a good option for you. So we're going to move on. Make sure is working. Always technical stuff. There we go, it was working. So we do work hard in this class, even though it's slow flow, we're working hard, and we do this thing called a Chaturanga. So hands are wide, feet are just a little bit apart. So it's like a push-up. The traditional way is you lower down with your elbows kind of pulling in, and then you put the front of the body and the tops of the feet on the floor, and you either come low, you might want to start low, or a little higher if it feels okay on your back, and you breathe. So that's your cobra. And then we pull back to downward facing dog. So we pull the belly button in, we pull the tailbone up and back, and we sink into something that looks something like this. Hang your head, you're trying to get your heels downward, they won't necessarily touch. Tilt your tail upward and lengthen through your spine, open in the shoulders and the chest gently. But I'm going to show you the modification. So traditional Chaturanga goes down like this, right? You can put your knees down and lower down, and then come into your cobra. So do that now, try it out. You can always modify if it starts getting too hard for you, because you might be a beginner, you might be really advanced. All are welcome in this class. Tuck your toes under, pull it back to down dog, keep that breath going. Nice deep breath. So again, your heels may not touch down. Your legs might be a little bent just to give you a little more comfort. That's okay. Lengthen, so you push that floor away, lengthen through the arms, up through the spine, up through the side body. From the sitting bones down to the heels, you lengthen, both down and up. And then you bring your knees back down. Step your right foot forward. Keep your back knee down if you can, top of the foot down. And then you're just gonna reach up, sinking the hips down and forward. So these first stretches are smaller. Eventually in the class, you'll be able to go deeper into your stretches, so don't go too crazy right now. Press that front heel down. Lift the heart forward and up. So we don't need to sink into the low back. We're gonna lift the chest forward and up. And then take it back to plank and down through Chaturanga. So pull that foot back, lowering down or modifying. Put your knees down if you need to. So be careful of your body, be nice to your body. Inhale, cobra. Pull your hips back, exhale, downward facing dog. Rolling shoulder blades out away from one another just a little bit. Hands are super connected, hang your head. Knees down, other foot, left foot forward, second side. Heel has to be down here. Back knee is down on this particular lunge, top of the foot is down. Make sure your heel's down. Reach it up. Again, we don't need to lean back, really. What we're doing is taking the chest forward and up, the head just a little bit up and back, and the hands just a little bit up and back, shoulders down. Hips forward, hips squared off, breathe. Oh, that deep breathing feels good. And take it into plank, down through Chaturanga. Into Cobra, Bhujangasana. And back to down dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Bring your knees down, step your right foot forward. Again, heel down, tuck back toes under, back heel is off, and see if you can come up to balance this time with the back knee off. Reach it up and out. Breathe, tailbone relaxes down, belly button pulls in, and plank to Chaturanga. So it starts pretty simply, but like I said, it's not easy, it's just simple. That's the difference. And take it back to down dog. Heels down, tail up, spine long, low back. You're trying to lengthen and flatten the low back. Don't shove or push or bounce. Just try to ease into it. Knees down, left foot forward, back toes tuck under, back heel is off. So back knee is off for this particular version of this. And here we are. Lift the chest, fingertips so alive and energized. Shoulders down, neck long. Breathe into it. And there we go, through this vinyasa again, through this flowing series. And back to down dog. Exhale and bring your feet forward to your hands, either walk or jump. Jumping is a little more advanced, so take it easy if you're in your living room, don't land on anything. Hang your head. Keep your eyes open for balance. Feel yourself in the balls of the feet and the heels. The hands don't have to touch down. They might be hanging or on your legs. It's all good. So you're working at your level. I always say that. That's the most important thing. You challenge yourself a little bit, but you work at your level. You don't force. 2 more deep breaths in that standing forward fold. Make them deep. And then bring the big toes to touching, heels just a little bit apart. Reach your hands up, chest up, top of the head up, but you're sitting back in the heels. You're sitting back into this chair pose. Notice that I'm not straight upright, because the more I sit back and down, my body has to hinge forward just a little bit. Neck long, my gaze is up, but I'm not like scrunching my neck, right? And you shouldn't be either. Stay there. Good warm up and strengthener for the legs. I'm really deep in my heels. My heels have to be down. Most of the poses, standing poses, your heels are down. So fold it forward, exhale. Then inhale and come partway up. Reach head and chest out. Lengthen spine. Exhale into plank and down through Chaturanga. Add extra breaths as needed. Inhale into cobra. Or you can be more advanced and come out to the tops of the feet and just the hands for up dog. And then pull back. For down dog, keep that breath going. I'm going to turn it around just because I like to change it up a little bit. I'm in my down dog still. You can stay where you are, I'm sure. So you are going to try to stay with that down dog. And if you can, you're going to take one leg up. 1 foot up and off. The standing leg's still parallel. It's okay if it's a little bent. The heel is reaching downwards. Press with the hands. Bend that up knee and open the hip a little more. So some people can really stack the hip on top of the other. Some people it's a little more squared off. Check in with your low back. But you're still trying to open the hip flexors, the front of the quad, inner thigh, maybe on standing leg. Breathe. Now use your core, because you're going to bring that up knee. You're going to bring it forward underneath you. Step that right foot forward. Here's your lunge again, okay? This time I've got fingertips or palms down. You might be on blocks. Front heel down. Give it some help if it has trouble coming forward. Back heel is off. So my right foot is forward. I'm going to take my left hand down. I'm going to twist towards my right leg, towards my front bent leg. Easy twist here. Don't worry about getting your arm way up and back. Think about rotating from, you can see my rib cage. You can't see my chest, but you get the idea. Opening shoulder. Then my arm just comfortably comes out, right? Now, I'm going to take my right forearm on my right thigh, spin my back heel, and come into a side angle pose. So one leg is bent. In fact, those toes are going out towards the side. The other one, the toes are going more towards the front, whatever your front is. And here I am, lengthening, sinking into this enough to feel the stretch and the strength. Good. You're going to turn it to plank. Exhale down through your Chaturanga if you can. Inhale into your Cobra, your Bhujangasana if you can. And exhale back to your down dog and keep that breath steady. Nice deep breaths. Left leg, second side. Reach this up and back. Pause there if you can. You can always just stay your regular down dog if that's going to be better for you. I'm going to bend that up knee and try to open a little more. I'm still trying to square off the shoulders and the chest, but I am opening my hip quite a bit because I'm more advanced, right? Hopefully I'm teaching your class. Now bring that up knee underneath you. Use your core, swing that foot forward. Give it a little help if that heel doesn't quite come down because it needs to be down, that front heel. Fingertips, palms, or blocks. Lengthen, push that front heel down. Lengthen through neck and spine. Because when you twist, you need a long spine, a long neck. My left foot is forward, so my right hand is coming down and I'm moving, twisting towards my front bent leg. Long neck too. I'm turning my head, but I'm not tilting back or tucking in. I'm just turning so my neck and my spine stay long. Okay, I'm turning away from you, but you can see me. Forearm on thigh. Spin my back heel down. So it's a version of this lunge, reaching. So So my left foot is forward, my right arm is reaching over towards that, kind of over that bent knee, right? You can see me from the back, the neck is long. I can look up, look out, or look down, whatever way you want to look, but keep that neck long. Reach, reach, sink hips down enough so you feel the stretch and the strength. And plank to Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, Cobra. Exhale, Down Dog. Take a deep breath in, then exhale those feet forward to hands, walk or jump. Inhale, partway up, lengthen through your spine. Exhale and fold. Chair pose, Utkatasana. Doing one of our versions of sun salutations. Surya Namaskar B. Sit back in the heels. Here's how it starts. I'll give you a little secret. It ends like this too. Exhale, fold it forward. Inhale, partway up, lengthen. You always bend your knees here if you needed. Exhale, plank to Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, Cobra, add breaths if needed. Press the tops of the feet down. And back to Down Dog. Pull it back. So again, we've got the right leg, it's coming up. You're gonna use that core and use that momentum to swing that right foot forward. Stand up, spin your back heel down on this lunge. This is your warrior one. Both heels down, reach up, sink hips down. Deep lunge, make sure your feet are far enough apart that this front knee probably ends up over the ankle. And the back leg is straight. And then you go through that vinyasa. Breathe through it. Pay attention. What are you doing? Soft gaze. Bring your mind's attention here like a moving meditation. Left leg, second side, reaches up and back. And you swing it forward. Spin your back heel. Both heels are down, feet are pretty far apart, a little bit wide. Deep lunge. Use that breath to fuel your muscles. Lots of oxygen. Plank to Chaturanga. Bhujangasana. Back to Down Dog. Breathe into it. Push. Push the floor away and lengthen up out of it. Get longer. Get more open. Feel those lines of energy. Exhale, feet forward to hands. If you want to jump, you can, but that's more advanced. Okay, jump it forward. You can inhale, partway up. You can exhale and fold. Hands do not have to be on the floor. And chair pose, you end as you began. Let's try that one again. Fold it forward, exhale. Inhale, partway up, lengthen. Plank to Chaturanga Dandasana. Into Bhujangasana. And back to Down Dog. I'm going too fast for you, just go a little more slowly or just pick a pose and stay with it. You know, if you're more of a beginner, you may not do all the poses, that's okay. Take your right leg, first side, reach it up and back. Swing it forward, spin your back heel, Virabhadrasana 1. And plank to Chaturanga. Hands are really wide and fingers spread out. Exhale. It's going to be better for your wrist if you use every part of your hand. And back to Down Dog. Left leg reaches up and back. And swing that second side. That's your second side. Swing that left foot forward. Warrior 1, Virabhadrasana 1. And through that vinyasa. Getting to know that one really well. You're going to be very good at that. And you're so focused. You're really aware of how your body feels. Exhale, feet forward to hands. Inhale, partway up, lengthen. Exhale, unfold. Chair pose. Utkatasana. Fold it over. Exhale, a little bit different here. Partway up. Take it to plank. Pause. No Chaturanga yet. Put your right hand down in the center of the mat. Put your right knee down underneath your right hip. Turn your left foot down and take a big side stretch. So my upper arm is reaching all the way over. Can you see it? Then, take this arm up. I am going to take my left leg, my back leg off. So hopefully you can see me. I've got my right hand under my right shoulder and my right knee underneath my right hip. Lengthen through the neck, look up, down, or out. And then if you're more advanced and you want to catch that foot right behind you, so you're not going to even see my foot, here it is. I'm going to push my hips forward so I don't scrunch my back too much. Open my chest, try not to get the foot up. It's behind you. Breathe. Then reach it all out in that balance again. Take it into that stretch again. And then take it onto all fours. You can switch sides. I'm just going to turn, why not? So I start with the back heel down, back foot down. My knee is right underneath my hip for support. My hand's pretty much right under my shoulder. And then I'm taking this arm over for a big side stretch. Neck is long. I even hang my head a little. So that's going to give you some stretch here. Don't go crazy with it, but add that if you want to. Breathe into it. I take that arm up. And take that back leg off. Spread those fingers out. Feel that even the top of the foot on that bottom leg is holding you. Reach out, lengthen. Catch the foot if you want to. A little more advanced, a little quad stretch there. I'm moving my hips forward and my foot back. Breathing. Smiling. Ooh. And go back out to the balance. I'm going to go into this side stretch. Now you can do that chaturanga because I know you love it. Exhale down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, down dog. And breathe. So we'll stay in this down dog and move into a few more standing poses. So these are still your warrior. So you're going to start with, first side, right leg reaches up and back. Swing that right foot forward, spin your back heel, warrior one. Then move forward into warrior three. Now, move back a little. You can have your arms forward or back. Some of you have this big stretch for your standing leg, a little bend with the heel down, it's fine. If you square off the hips, that's like the final touch, the icing on the cupcake. So just do your best. Your gaze, looking down probably or a little out, is really going to help you to balance. Soft but focused gaze. Step back to warrior one. Back heel is down just like your front heel is down. Back heel spins and is down. Clasp your hands behind your back and come into humble warrior. Forward fold, humble warrior. Fold that upper body over. Head either hangs or slightly lifts. Don't crank it up. You don't need to look at me right now. You're in your warrior stance with your clasped hands behind you and coming up and over. Trying to get your torso down somewhat, maybe even inside that front leg, but may not go that far. And then release it into plank and down through chaturanga. Belly button in, don't sag. Open your heart forward and out as your shoulders go back and down. And back to down dog. Left leg, second side, reaches up and back. Swing it forward, spin your back heel. Veer one is where we begin. That's warrior one, it's your little nickname. Virabhadrasana one. Into warrior three. So again, you have that choice. If you're having trouble, there might be something around you can hold on to. Look at me, you're so nice. Little help here. But you could take those arms forward. That back leg is maybe not super high, but it's reaching back away from your head. Or arms could be beside, a little bit back, like a little bit like airplane arms. You gotta breathe, so try to breathe. You're riding the wave of the breath. You're spreading out your toes, not gripping them. Step it back, warrior one. And then I clasp my hands behind my back. I'm gonna fold it over, so you won't be able to see me, but you're just gonna fold that upper body over to the front. So this is a humble warrior. The stance is the same, the front knee stays bent. The arms try to come up and over a little bit. And you breathe. Either hang or ever so slightly lift the head. Eyes need to be open for balance, though. Soft gaze. You take it and plank it down through Chaturanga. Into Cobra. Back to down dog. Feel free to go into your child's pose. If you need a rest, go into your child's pose. Feel free. Anytime during the class, in fact. Or just go into some pose you really like. If there's a pose you're not going to do, just go into some other pose you really like. Why not? Take your right leg up and back. Use that core to swing it forward. This time the right foot's going outside the right hand and the right hand's coming in towards center just a little. So this is a lunge. Your back heel is off, your back knee is off. But I call your lizard. For this version, we're going to keep that front foot, that sole of the foot down. Or a little turned out with the sole of the foot down, and that's fine too. You're welcome to come down further if that works for you. Maybe one elbow. A lot of people can do one elbow, not necessarily both, but you can do that if you can. So the stretches should be intense, but not painful. Do not make yourself struggle. Do not allow yourself to struggle. Just relax your mind too. And breathe. Again, you could be up on your hands. You could be on one elbow. So the more I do this, like the more advanced I become in this, the more I square off the hips and try to drop them down and forward. Now, take that front foot back and come onto your elbows for a plank, because I really like doing exercises that strengthen your core, just like that Chaturanga strengthens your core. So it's really important in yoga, and it's good injury prevention to have nice, strong core muscles, abs, low back, hips and shoulders, chest. And then take those knees down. Take it back to downward facing dog. Lengthen. Anchor down into the mat and breathe. Left leg reaches up and back. And swing that foot forward, but you're going to shift that left hand just a little to the center and that left foot out to the left of the hands. Back knee is off, front foot, the sole of the foot is trying to be really connected. Maybe you square off those hips, that's kind of the final touch, but what the heck. If you want to bring one elbow down, you're welcome to, or both, or wherever your level is. Relax your mind. You're focused, but not obsessively so, right? Trying to find that balance, because yoga is about balance in every way. Effort and ease, stretch and strength, balance between the two sides of the body, balance between the two sides of the brain even. And this time you're going to find your way into a wide leg forward fold. So I'm going to turn both sets of toes. So I'm going to have my feet parallel and very wide. You can put a block here, or a book, or a coffee table if you want. You're going to fold it over. So feet are very wide. The legs can be a little bent if you want. I love hanging my head. If you've done my classes, you know I love that because it softens and lengthens my neck. For me, tension resides in these like around the trapezius and the neck and all around that, a little bit my lats even. Hands don't have to touch down. Like I said, they could be on something else or on your legs. But enjoy that forward fold. Okay, bend your right knee a little bit. Your right heel is going to stay down though. Walk your hands over to the right. Your pelvis can tilt a little if you want to, so you can get as much stretch in that left inner thigh as possible. So right knee's bent, left inner thigh is getting a stretch. And walk over to the other side. Now I'm bending the other knee. I'm going to keep my heel down. Some people go way down on this. That's up to you, but it's a little more safe on your knee if your heel stays down. Go over to the first side again. Walk it around, walk it over. And then over to the other side. And then back up, so hips center. I'm going to fold it over, but this time I'm really going to dig those feet in. I'm going to just take my upper body a little bit over towards one leg like I'm trying to kiss it or hug it. I'm because it deserves it. It's working hard. Then over to the other side. Good. Back into center and around to your downward facing dog. A few more of those Series B salutations because I love them. We're going to exhale those feet forward to hands. We're going to inhale, part way up, lengthen, reach head and chest out. Exhale and fold. As big a stretch as you can manage for hamstrings. Feet close together, chair pose, Utkatasana. Here we go. Just do your best. Exhale, fold it over. Inhale, part way up, lengthen. Exhale, plank to Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, Bhujangasana. Exhale, down dog. Right leg reaches up and back. So I didn't remind you, but I will now. Don't hit anything with your right leg. Be nice. Careful of that body. Swing that right foot forward. Spin your back heel down. Virabhadrasana 1. Deep lunge. Heart open and up. Fingers up. Plank to Chaturanga. Exhale, down. Inhale, Bhujangasana. Exhale, down dog. Left leg reaches up and back. Swing that foot forward. Spin the back heel, Virabhadrasana 1. And plank. Go through that vinyasa. Pads the fingers, press down, hands wide so you support those wrists. Try not to put undue weight on the base of the hand where it'll hurt the wrists, right? Back to down dog. Exhale, feet forward to hands. Inhale, part way up, lengthen. Exhale and fold. Chair pose, Utkatasana. Sit back in the heels, see if you can hang in there. Come on up to standing. Bring hands in heart center. Soft gaze on something that's not moving. Feel your feet on the mat, right under those hips. So wide enough that you're really easily balancing very comfortably on the feet. Shoulders over hips. The natural curves in the spine. So we've got inward here, a little bit outward in the upper back, a little bit inward in the low back, and the tailbone heavy and hanging, not tucked, and not tilting too far back. Somewhere in between. Some people, it's a little bit more curvy, right? Some people, a little less. It's okay. Let's take our right leg up. So it's like I'm a marionette. I'm hanging from my fingers, my head, and my knees are hanging there. See if you can hug that knee in, but when you do that, try not to lean back. So you can see I'm moving my chest forward and up. I'm using my gaze. Use something to hold on to if you need. And then the final touch for more advanced is twist towards your up leg. So I'm going to hold on to my right leg with my left hand. I'm going to scan my gaze. Try to twist a little bit. I'm a little wobbly today, but that's okay. Back into center. Hug it in. Try not to lean back. And then place that foot back down. Shake it out if you need to. So move the side so you can see that I'm not leaning back. You're looking at alignment here. You know, from the front, it's this basically, right? So fingertips up, top of head up. Natural, neutral spine, left knee up. So hopefully my posture is good. Shoulders down. So look at the whole, look at all the little pieces that make up the whole. Then you can hug that leg in. So you can always put your foot down and just take a break, but do your best. Challenge yourself and don't struggle. Your mind plays a part in that, so try to relax your mind a little bit. Just have fun with it, right? It's a practice. They don't call it a yoga perfect. They call it a yoga practice. If you want to try and twist it, just have fun. Play with it. So you fall down, you're not going to fall down. You're just going to put your foot down. It's not going to hurt you. Ooh, here we go. Hug that knee in. Chest forward and up. And place that foot down. Good job. Nice job. Just going to shake it up. Okay. So we have about 10 more minutes left. We're going to do a big hip stretch. And then some stuff, a little bit of stuff on our back on the mat, and then our Shavasana. So This is an interesting stretch. If you want to sit up on a yoga block, you can sit on a rolled mat, so your sitting bones would be on the block or the mat, or a folded up blanket that's kind of a stiff blanket, like I have a Mexican blanket, one of those kind of fun Mexican blankets will work. You can put that in your sitting bones. Some pillows are a little too soft. You want to be sitting up tall. If your back is rounded, like if you find this kind of action, or if it hurts your hip flexors or your hips, definitely sit up on something, or just try to make it a little milder, or sit back against a wall, that works too. Put one shin right in front. See how it's lined up here? So it's very much in front. When you sit cross-legged, your feet are kind of in, but I'm gonna put that shin very parallel in front of me. Now, here's the trick though. I'm gonna try to put the other shin right in line with it. If you are more tight, it may look something like this, okay, with the knee way up and the foot not so far over. And you just kind of hold on to that knee. The weight of the leg is going to open the hip for you. If it gets too intense, just hold that leg. Do not push from the knee, please. So here's how mine goes. My hips are pretty tight today, so I'm a good example of kind of in between. If you're very flexible, you will fold forward, okay, because that will give you more stretch. I flex my feet. So basically, if I'm really in the perfect, but it's never perfect, but alignment, the ideal alignment, my heel or my ankle will be right over my knee joint, and knee joint over heel and ankle. So at least sit up tall if you can, shoulders down, relax your mind, just focus your attention on your breath and how it feels. Even if it's very intense, a little uncomfortable, just notice how it feels, because it's not going to last forever. I have a good friend who says, just remember, this is not necessarily the end of the story. There's more to the story. Settle in. And you're going to switch it carefully. Come out. Each side might be a little different in terms of one hip is often a little tighter than the other. One looser, one tighter, so don't force. Have acceptance for what you find, even though you know you can change it somewhat by doing your yoga practice more regularly. Do accept what you find first. That's your starting point. Sitting up tall or folding forward, not forcing this leg down. It's rotating out from the hip socket. So if you're really eager to push it down, you're rotating out here. That's what you do. You don't push on that. Neck long, shoulders relax, and deep breaths, because you can. Gently stretching those hips. You know, you are being assertive, but not pushing too hard. Find your way out. Go ahead, take it back to your down dog for a moment. Should feel a little different. Now stretch those hamstrings, feel them. So if you tilt your tail up and back and soften your knees a little, tilt up and back. Length through the side body and through the inside and outside of the legs. Legs don't have to be straight, but have them straight enough that you feel the stretch in those, in the upper back of the leg, the bicep femoris, the hamstring, what we call the hamstrings. And then plank to Chaturanga, or modified Bhujangasana, or up dog, and back to down dog. Bring those knees down. So on your back on the mats, I'm just gonna give you a few more stretches actually here. We've got some good stretches tonight, so we're gonna enjoy that a little bit more. Put the soles of the feet together, let the knees open out. And this is your Supta Baddha Konasana. So if you can't see me and you're not sure what I'm doing, you can always carefully sit up and look at me. You don't want to hurt your neck or anything. So take your time with things. I have my feet, pretty much the soles of the feet facing each other and together, mostly together. I'm letting my knees open out. So my knees are bent and I'm letting them open out. So I'm getting a stretch in the groin, inner thigh, and hips. And I'm just laying, my upper body's just reclined. I'm laying on my back on the mat, head on the mat, shoulders on the mat. Just relax there for a second. Deep breaths. Now bring your knees back up off the mat, soles of the feet on the mat. Take your arms as wide as your space will allow. Scoot your butt a little bit to the right on the mat, just a little. And then you're gonna take your knees over to the left. So you scooted your butt right, and you're taking your knees left. So your knees are bent. Doing a reclined twist, you're looking away from the knees with your face, so there's your twist. So spine is long, neck is long, not scrunching anything. You're just twisting, opening. Bring the knees back up to center, bring your face facing straight up. So still head and shoulders and back on the mat, knees bent, soles of feet on the mat currently. Shift your hips on the mat, your pelvis just a little bit to the left, and let your knees sink over to the right on the floor. And look left, recline twist. Bring knees back up to center. Okay, find a comfortable reclined position on the mat. Close your eyes. This is going to be your Shavasana. Let's have a few minutes here. I want you to just be very relaxed. So you're not sleeping, you're not napping. But you are definitely going to relax. And you might choose something as a focal point that's something very simple. I often choose the breath for myself. Keep bringing your attention back to your breath, because that'll keep you in the here and now, but it's simple, it's easy. Or maybe you have a mantra, a little saying, or a word you want to focus on. Feel your body heavy on the mat, but feel how the breath lightens you and then sinks you down as you take those deep breaths. Allow your mind to rest just like your body. So simple, simple, basic. Any thoughts about the future or the past can just stay away for now. And think of something you are grateful for. Let that fill up your attention and your mind. A wonderful, warm feeling of gratitude. And bend your knees, and the soles of the feet will come onto the mats. Carefully roll yourself onto one side. Be mindful of things around you. Then push yourself up to sitting and find a seated position that feels relatively comfortable to you, just for your finish. Take your hands in heart center. Take a very deep breath in, new energy, new oxygen, and big exhale will clear your mind. Let go of anything you don't need. And I thank you so much for practicing with me. I really appreciate it. Exhale and say namaste. Just bowing, coming on up to center. Thanking yourself for practicing today, for doing something good for yourself. And I will see you guys soon.